Hello, families. Welcome to our next section of our Peace Education series. So, today we're talking about acting on your environment. So, the A in Peace Education. First, we talked about preparing yourself, the adult, by parenting yourself. And then we talked about educating yourself on child development so you can understand where your child is. And the next step is to prepare your home environment, so act on your environment. And I want to tell you a little bit about the prepared environment. So, our role as adults is to prepare the physical and emotional environment for our children. So, not only that they have things that are their size and at their height, that are real and beautiful, but also they need adults that are prepared, emotionally prepared to be with them, to be present, to help them, to guide them, and to be in the space with them. So remember that children learn through experiencing, through touching, through exploration, through their senses. So that's why it is our role to prepare the physical environment for them to aid them in their development. This is how we educate their senses. So, in order to prepare their environment, we have today with us Aurelia, who's going to show us some of the tools that you're going to need for a prepared environment. And then I'll tell you a little bit more about them and how they aid your child's environment and their development. So, here are some basic tools that you can use. So, Aurelia is going to show us basic. This is Aurelia. Our children, young children, and all throughout love to clean and help and be contributing members of the classroom, of the home. Sorry, I'm used to talking about the classroom. And so they need the proper size tools to clean, like a dustpan and broom that is child size, a small one that they can use. Then they also use utensils that are child size, cups, plates, and forks need to be real and beautiful for their hands. Small watering can is beautiful for taking care of their plants. Children also need small utensils for cutting work, like the knives and cutting boards and apple slicers. And child size cleaning items like spray bottles and towels that they can use when they make spills and when they need to clean up after themselves. Thank you for the show and tell, Aurelia. All right, so now I want to tell you a little bit about each environment in your home, and as well as explain to you the importance of the prepared environment. So, as Montessori adults, we know that children learn through their senses, they absorb their environment. So, it's important that we have prepared spaces for them to explore and absorb meaningful, beautiful things. It's important because a prepared environment encourages independence, it encourages order, freedom of choice, and responsibility. When children see that things have a place, that they belong somewhere, that they're beautifully organized, they start to internalize that order that they see externally, and they realize that things have a purpose, and they start to respect things and start to put things back where they belong. It invites them to work, to do things with their body, which is what humans need. We need to move and interact and touch and repeat. So having beautiful material at their height in a prepared environment aids with that. And again, what we mean by a prepared environment is the physical space that you set up for your children so that they have accessible to them their tools, their material, and their toys. It's important that when you choose tools that they stay in the same place. So some of the important aspects is that you choose the tool and it goes in one place always. You don't move the place where it belongs. That it's real, child size, that their little hand can maneuver it, like a pitcher or whatever it is. And also that it is not misused as a toy. So we have to give that respect for that tool. This is a tool. This is our dustpan. We use it to sweep up spills. This is our towel. Our color coding things can be helpful. Our purple towels are for cleaning up spills. So these are for spills. Let me show you. And then when they want to be funny and silly and play, then you can redirect them to toys. Oh, you're being silly. I get you. Come here. Come with me and we're going to go play. And invite them to go find the toys to play with. So we have some stuffed animals. Show me what you wanted to show me with the stuffed animal. So having open-ended toys that are beautifully organized on a shelf is also important. So we'll move on to the prepared environment. So there's three main living areas, usually in a home, or four. There's the kitchen, the bathroom, bedroom, and the living space. And then you can also talk about your outdoor environment. But the living room should be a space where we come together as a family, and usually we have things that we enjoy doing together. It's important to have a place. You don't have to spend a lot of money or buy special furniture. You can just use a shelf that you already own or a cupboard to prepare their space. So as you'll see here, we only have four little places where they have their materials. So they have toys, blocks, art supplies, and books. And it's very simple, very few things. They're contained within a tray so that they know that they belong in here, and that's where we put them back and we place them back on the shelf where they belong. That order again helps them internalize that. And then for books, for young children under 3, they don't need more than 4 or 5 books out. For 3 to 6-year-olds, they don't need more than 10 books out. It's always better to have things out to rotate instead of having 30 books out, because then it is too overwhelming. Children need few choices. They need things to be beautiful, organized, orderly, very feng shui, very Marie Kondo, beautiful, meaningful, purposeful, and that they can see it and use it, and then they can be rotated out. And that engages them and catches their attention when there's something new in the environment. So usually you want to rotate things out, not everything out. You would rotate a few things out every week or every 2 weeks. And we'll talk more about the types of material that you should have in toddler versus primary. So toddler material would be things like opening and closing containers, nesting toys, large blocks, and things like for art. They can do watercolors, they can do finger painting, scribbling with big thick crayons, board books, and stuffed animals. Very simple things. For primary children, who are already using a pencil, they can have pencils and different kinds of crayons or colored pencils so they can practice and draw and write with. They can have different kinds, more elaborate types of building material or puzzles. Instruments are important to have in your environment as well, and more advanced books for them. Another aspect that, especially at Casa de Paz, we encourage you to have as a peace area. So I'm actually sitting in our peace area. It's a little cushion in this corner, and we have a peace tool. We have an entire video series on conscious discipline and peace, how we apply the peace area at Casa and how we encourage you guys to do it. But one of our peace tools is the rain stick. It's soothing and relaxing, and all you need is a little area, a little corner that's cozy where when the child's having big feelings, they can go to that place and feel their feelings. So this is our peace area here in our living room. You can have it in anywhere. Actually, children enjoy having peace areas all over, and in the room and all over the house. Then in the kitchen, same thing. You just clear out one little cabinet where they can have their tools. They can have, if you just have 2 shelves on a cabinet, you can just have a pitcher with what they drink throughout the day and a cup. That's it. On the bottom, they're cleaning supplies, and that is all. And then if you want to, you can rotate things out and maybe put workout for apple slicing, but just having everything simple, contained in a tray on the shelf where they can see it and they know how to use it. And then in the bathroom, it's important to have a stool so they can reach, and in the kitchen as well. If they're going to be able to reach the sink, it's important for them to have stools so they can reach the sinks, to get their own water, to wash dishes, in the bathroom to brush their teeth, to wash their hands. They use the stools as well for the light switch and sometimes for the toilet, right? In the bathroom, it's also important that they have a hamper at their height so they know where dirty clothes go. Sometimes they might need a little mop, or it could be a little Swiffer. I like Swiffers because you can just use the bottom part of it and switch out towels, and children love to wipe up spills with that, and it's easily washed. And then in the bedroom, it's important that it's simple, that it's a relaxing environment with not a lot of things going on, but that they have things at their height and children are working towards independence, right? And right now, that independence they need is to be able to take care of their own needs, to dress and undress themselves. So having clothes accessible that they can put on and off on their own is important. A good strategy that we use in Montessori is that we don't give them all of their wardrobe, because that's overwhelming, and then you're gonna have some power struggles in the morning. If it's snowing and your child wants to wear a sundress, that's gonna be a problem. So organizing their clothes in the closet that you have access to, and then the night before, you put out the options that you feel are appropriate, and they get to choose between the black pants and the purple pants. And those are the appropriate choices for this age. Two choices, and it's what you as the adult feel is appropriate, and but it still gives them agency to choose which of the tops, which of the bottoms they're going to wear. So yeah, help in getting dressed on their own is very important in their room and in the bathroom. Also, it's important that when you have hooks for their towels and for their coats and their backpacks, that they're at their height so they can reach. Hooks, we love hooks. We have hooks everywhere, so that the children know where to put their things, and where to find them, and where to put them away when they are finished. And then outdoors, outdoors is where we encourage you to be a lot, especially in the spring and when it's beautiful weather. Gardening is an important activity to do outside, so having your child having their own basket of their gardening tools, having balls, toys outside, but not overwhelming them, just having a few things out that you can rotate for outside. You can have an outdoor broom. A push broom is important. Push and pull carts like wagons are pretty important, and they can put heavy things and encourage them to move things from one end to the other to work on those large muscles. But having about 5 or 6 things to rotate out for them outside as well that are interesting and engaging, and that encourage large motor development. So those are some of our suggestions for the home prepared environment. Again, we want to encourage you to find what you have already. There's many things that you already own that you can use. Thrift stores are a great way to find a lot of the material. You can also go to montessoriservices.com for more specific cutting tools. For meals and work time, you can use a coffee table for them to do their art on, or their snacks. But if you want to spend the money on a child-sized table and chairs, that's also an option. Just being flexible and remembering your values, what's important to you, and what your boundaries are, what you would like in your environment. If you're not okay with art in your living room, then you don't do that. You do what makes sense to you in your home, what you use each space for, and what you're comfortable with your child having access to, and when. You can also not always have them out. You don't always have to have the blocks out or art. You don't always have to have juice making work out. You decide when and what is the right time to provide these material for them. And then in our next videos, we will show you how to invite the child to do material that you set out for them, and how to entice them, and very importantly, how to respect the material and put it away.